All right, aloha everybody. This is the video of the week, and I thought because we are doing the perception glasses thing, that we should continue on with communication. And so, one of the things that I thought was really important is that part of communication is, of course, clarification, right? Because if you don't clarify, you're going based off of your own perception once again, right? And so when you're doing communication and you're communicating with the other party, whether it's in business, whether it's personal and it's family, whether it's your spouse or your partner or whatever, you want to have this open communication with this other person. And remember this, with communicating with people, the majority of the messages that they're going to get from you, as far as how you coming to them, is going to be based off of body language. Okay, what you actually coming out and saying out of your mouth is going to be just a little tiny bit as compared to the body. So what you want to remember is that you want to come through with open body language. That means no like this or like this, cross legs, or whatever. Because if not, they immediately thinking, oh my gosh, this person is coming hard at me. And so now I gotta be very defensive because I don't know what they're gonna do or what they're coming through or whatever. So remember, open versus closed. The other thing is you don't want to make any assumptions. So clarify, clarify, clarify. Because remember with the perception, right? So if they're asking for, or they're talking about something and you're not sure what they're trying to say, before you go off on them, ask them, so what I hear you saying is, did I get that right? Or is that wrong? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. But also remember tone. So don't be like, oh, okay, so what I heard you say was, is that right? You know what I mean? You don't have to do that either, because if not, it's going to be a hot mess. So the next thing we want to talk about is active listening versus hearing, because there's a big difference between that, right? So say somebody is across from you and they're talking, and if you're like, mm-hmm. So it's like, that's active hearing, you know what I mean? But if you're doing listening and you're like engaging, you're like, yeah, 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 I got it. Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That shows you are actively listening to them and you're engaging in that two-way conversation or whatever. The next thing is, okay, I know this is a typical therapist kind of move right here. Remember to say the I feel when statements. How much of you always do that? The I feel when? Not me. So just remember that is something that you have to really practice on. So I know when I remember one of my patients told me, I tried using that and it took me like 15 minutes. So our actual argument was long gone. Like she was gone. And then I called her up on the phone and I was like, okay, I got it. I feel pissed off when you told me you and fool around on me, girl. He's like, you know how long that took me? Like, she's down the road, like getting gas. Like, oh my God. But he said the only good thing was I wasn't pissed off anymore because it took me that long. So anyway, it does take some time to develop it, but if you put it in like your daily living and you'll end up getting comfortable with it and you won't just say I feel when. It'll come to you and you'll utilize it in different ways. And the most important thing, keep it on your side of the street. Keep it on your side. Because if you turn around and you start at it where you're blaming them and you're coming at them and you're describing everything they did wrong, what about you? Obviously, it was two ways. So what about you? What you did to actively participate in that conflict or whatever. Just remember, if you are coming at them and you're telling them everything about what happened in that situation, they immediately going to be defensive and nothing is going to get resolved. So make sure that you're only describing your actions, what part you played in that, that situation, so that then they'll see like, okay, well, let me tell you what I thought about what happened and what I did. So now you're coming to an active participatory kind of problem solving activity versus or like on solution focused kind of, mentality versus just problem solving, like problem making and continuing discussions about problems. You don't need that. You need one solution to that, to what was going on, because you guys both know what the problem is. You just need the solution now. So just remember that's really important. So one last thing I wanted to talk about is that plenty people, they have been getting in contact with me and they're like, I'm not really ready to get into like this whole therapy issue, like deal, whatever. But I really like your video or videos, and I really enjoy watching that because it gives me a lot of insight and stuff. So what I thought was maybe I'm gonna start doing an interactive blog. Like that's way better, you know what I mean? Besides just the videos. And so it's kind of like that Dear Abby back in the day. I don't know if they still have that, but anyway, it'll be called Aloha Mel. Okay, Aloha Mel. So you can find it on www.suna-imoa.com, and there'll even be a link on the prismwell.org. And please, if you guys have certain things you guys want me to talk about as well, go on the interactive blog and tell me, Mel, I want you to talk about this. Like, I really need assistance in this or that or whatever. So in the interactive blog, you can also write me, and of course, if you have certain things that you would like insight on, I can go ahead and do that too. But just remember, it's for educational purposes only, of course. It's not therapy. If you need therapy, please go and contact your insurance provider where they can give you referrals, or even nonprofits in your neck of the woods, right? That's always going to be the best area of expertise. You want to go and find somebody out in your area to get counseling. Anyway, everybody have a really good week, and I will see you soon.